Hello, in this video I want to show you how to create your own Devuan Linux using the i3 window manager. For the techie savvy, the minimalistic window manager that will let you maximize all the screens using the vi canal I commands and snippets to actually manage your screen. The distribution that we're building is based on Devuan Linux without systemd. The recipe that I'm following is some scriptlets that I put in GitHub for the Devuan OS. It's pretty straightforward. Basically, you download the scripts, and run it from 1 to 5 instead of the scripts. The script that is going to help us is actually the get started, which actually is the first one to get all the files, all the required files from GitHub. So the build is going to be based on Xubuntu, running in the local machine. I want to create a folder called my Devuan OS, which should have a folder. And I want to get the file from GitHub. The one is actually the get started. I want to change permissions to execute, and I want to execute it, which is basically when I get all the files via wget that is needed to actually get the build. Once it's done, we end up with a bunch of files here. They're all from GitHub. You can feel free to change the Devuan config for your settings or your build. Actually, you tell what is the liveboot temporary folder where actually is going to build everything. That's going to be everything built on that. The distro name that you want to call it, in this case, I want to call it Devuan OS. The version is 1.0, and I want to put a hostname called Linux. That's good enough for me. In the perfect world, you should start from 1 all the way to 5 in your execution. So the first one is going to be executing the script number 1, which is actually the prereqs. The prereqs is actually just going to go ahead and get using the app tool everything that is needed to make your build. So if we look to the app-get in a second, we'll be able to see that the only thing that does that script is the app commands to get whatever is needed. I can go back and look the source. So just basically is doing apps install tools. That's what actually is doing. I've done this before, probably run really fast. So it's actually the only thing that it's actually doing app install. Once done, what we need to do is actually call the second script, which is the Devuan bootstrap. Basically, what it tells in our live boot, read the configuration file on the live boot, start doing the debootstrap, and actually get for the ASCII distribution of Devuan, get the package from packagemaster.devuan, and eventually root into the build environment. So without any other further ado, fire in the hole, let's go ahead and get started. The Devuan part start executing, and it's doing exactly that. Read the configuration file in my home directory, create it under the live boot, create that folder, and it's actually building the first initial root environment for this Devuan distribution. Once we're in the Devuan distribution, what we want to do is actually execute the script number 3, which is actually the i3. In this case, for the i3, what it's going to do is configure hostname, install the kernel image for that particular Devuan distribution. It's going to install some packages. If you wanted to install some packages in your distribution, here's a place where you can actually add as many commands, and the apt-get command will go ahead and install what you need. In this case, I'm putting LX terminal for the maximize, but you can actually omit this one. You can just use xterm, and that will be a truly X terminal for that, and configure the host file. Slightly changed to put a background. I really like the Devuan background instead of the default used on Slim, so I did a little change on that. But other than that, It's pretty standard stuff here. Still kind of building the chilled environment. This looks a lot like when you install Linux from scratch. All the packages, the minimum things that you have to get going and install in ChartGC to build the initial system to actually use it to recompile and get everything together. So it's similar process just for the minimum things that you need to get going, and it's there. We're finally in a root environment, and I can see there's a script that I want to run, the i3. Actually, I'll go ahead and execute. I'm in the root environment, and now using the root environment is executing the i3 to actually apply the kernel, use exactly what is needed, and doing the preparations for my distribution. We're about 5 minutes on the build, including this video is about 5, almost 6 minutes, and it's actually building, and we're building really fast. Everything will depend on your bandwidth, speed of your computer. In this case, I have a HP Omen laptop with a solid state drive. It's pretty fast, and the bandwidth to the internet is pretty good. But this is just kind of the waiting game. It just depends how fast your machine, your internet access is, how much RAM you have in your system. The good thing about it, though, is the fact that this distribution is going to be very slim. It's not going to take a whole lot of resources, so that will make things a lot faster. It's actually unpacking a lot of packages, so processes were working really fast. And once we finish, we have to get out of the churro environment. It's going to ask us for a here comes with a language on the keyboard. The locales. Actually, I'm going to go for English. It's going to be my language, and later it's going to ask me for the root password, which actually you can set up to whatever you want it. And there it is. That's it. That's all to it. I can actually exit from the root environment, and I'm back to the regular shell. What I need to execute is script number 4, which is basically to the live Linux distribution. Is going to make a live Linux using the image that actually is built right there. So I'll go ahead and give it a shot. Start creating the Squash FS. This reminds you probably the times from Linux Notics. Uses a lot of this, like live CDs, everything compressed into one file. It was pretty amazing. But then you can, this case, you can build your own one. It can be something like a little Swiss Army knife, or you can build a little internet kiosk, or you can build your something special for your school, for your church, for your charity, for something that actually you're gonna distribute and put a label and just kind of set pics of files that actually can be reading from the ISO. That'd be perfect. And the size of the image is only going to be 232 megs on the ISO. So the only thing it tells me is from the last one, with this last part is going to be the script 5, which actually is going to build the ISO image. So without any other further ado, I give it a shot. It builds it. We have a 275 meg ISO image, which we're about to test right now. I copy that to my local machine, download the image via secure copy. There is. I go ahead and set up to read from that newly created image and fire up. It started right away. And once this starts, you can see Devuan Live. It's very fast. You barely can see it running. Actually, it just did it. And there is. Actually, i3, function key enter. If I can get the keys here. I have to figure out exactly how the keys are to create another one. I think But anyway, if I don't have it stopped, I can use the apt command to install it and run it, and can go full screen. As you can see, it's Devuan OS with the kernel 4909 and using the window manager i3. And that's it. I think hopefully you enjoyed. It was in less than 5 minutes or 5 minutes or less. And the processes, 88 processes, and using about 88 megs of RAM. Can beat that, and 270 megs on a live distribution. Here you go, your Dev1 OS in 5 minutes or less using the i3 window manager. Hopefully you enjoyed. Have a great day.